out on a new adventure with the Baid has landed. Today we're going to be doing some exploring in Lansing, Michigan. We're going to see what we can find and see what we can do. Also going to be learning some new tips and tricks with some equipment that we picked up over holidays. So hope you enjoyed today's adventure. Let's check out the Myers in town, downtown Lansing. See what's going on down there. So we were in at the downtown city market, real rustic feel, and of course now that I'm standing out in the wind, I just realized I forgot a few layers back at the apartment. But really nice, a huge selection of wines and beverages and food options that you don't necessarily see in some of the other neighborhood around there. There's the ballpark where the Lugnuts play. A lot of fun to catch a ball game. Bum bum. Holiday decorations still out. Shot of the Capitol up the hill there. Gallery. Empire, Szechuan, bail bonds. There's an iconic local establishment. Closed on Saturday. mascot of the, not the mascot, the symbol of the new. They've been in town forever. The lug nuts. The old Masonic temple in Lansing was owned by Cooley Law School for a while. So I've lived here my entire life, 51 years, but I've never actually physically been here. I've driven by countless times since I worked in the area, but I've never actually been here. After the incident with COVID, that there were gates and fences around the perimeter of the building. There's the lovely dome. A lot of different groups will get down here and do their thing. The coolest thing is every so often there's a huge farmer's market where the vendors are parked around the outside of the square and are selling their goods. Very cool kind of thing that I've seen but never been able to go to. Lansing's Labor Day holiday, UAW takes action. Took to the streets on June 7, 1937, following Flint's example. Lansing Amalgamated United Auto Workers Local 182 concluded a successful sit-down strike at Rio in April 1937. A subsequent effort to organize Capital City Wrecking Company resulted in the firing of workers' picket lines and an injunction. When Union President Lester Washburn ignored the injunction, Sheriff Allen McDonald came to arrest him at 2 a.m. Washburn wasn't home, so the sheriff arrested his wife and took her to jail, leaving their 3 children with a neighbor girl. When morning came, 2,000 or more people took to the streets to support the Union. Interesting. You ought to know. Historic site, the Lansing tradition of raising money to provide shoes and boots for the needy. School children began around 1910 when truant officer George Palmer established the Palmer Shoe Fund in 1924. The Old Newsboys Association, led by its president, R. Guy Brownson, was organized to assist in the efforts begun by Palmer. The Old Newsboys cooperated with the State Journal and the Lansing Capital News to publish and sell a spoof newspaper during the one-day fundraising drive. Clergy, educators, businessmen, politicians, and other citizens joined in the effort. Since 1932, the State Journal has printed the humorous tabloid annually hawked by Old Newsboys and area streets. During the 1990s, the paper's one-day circulation reached over 100,000 copies of Old Newsboys' mission to provide shoes and boots for the needy school children. Classic building here in Lansing. Used to be part of the power company, but now is owned and run and was restored by a insurance company. Place called Rio Town. There's a standing room only diner down there that must be pretty good. Neat little area that's getting revitalized. There's the power station, some charities. We'll go down here and check out this market. 1027 Rio Town Marketplace. This looks pretty slick. Apparently Originally, this was a vendor-related business, but because of COVID, some of the people have moved other places. But it was a car dealership showroom for Hudson and other. Interesting deck over there. Kind of fun to take part of some sort of festivity on if you lived there or worked there. It's gorgeous decks up here. Those that have access to that. Definitely gonna have to come back and walk this whole thing during the nicer season of the year and kind of see how it looks, especially like when all of the foliage is out and the trees have their leaves. Underneath the road here. Establishment up there to check out someday. Here's the back side of some of the places in Old Town. Love what they've done with some of these buildings and made them relevant. Some nice decks. Ooh, some nice patios. Looks like somebody's got some nice views on the side of their places. So here's a map of some of the areas that we're just walking through. It gives a breakdown of what's going on. There's the fish ladder. Crap on me here. I do not do well with heights, and this is making me a little nervous. Somebody down there enjoying the view along the water. There's downtown where we were at earlier. Playground equipment up the trail there. Interesting dock here. Get a chance to see the ice and the buoys and the perspective of the falls and the fish ladder. Really come a long ways with that past several years as they've kind of put this together. It's very nice. Really kind of didn't know this was all here for some time. It's my first time getting to experience it. So nice about today is that even though it's not necessarily the warmest out, without a wind, it's a really enjoyable day for mid-January. So if you're ever in the Lansing area and you're looking for a great place to walk, get away, I'd consider coming downtown and doing this trail, kind of checking things out. Hey, this says the North Lansing Benke Fish Ladder, built in 1981. The North Lansing Benke Fish Ladder is the sixth in a series of fish ladders on the Grand River to allow the trout and salmon to migrate 184 miles from Lake Michigan to the South Lansing Morris Park Dam. It is part of a cooperative fish management project between the City of Lansing and the State of Michigan. Funds to build it were provided by the City of Lansing, the Michigan Urban Recreational Bond Program, and the Andromedas Fisheries Restoration Program. It was named in honor of William Benke, who worked tirelessly to bring trout and salmon to Lansing. Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division